Seattle Kraken fans? Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken, where I'm your host, Erica Lindsay Ayala. And today is a Seattle Kraken game day. We also got the announcement of some new owners to the Seattle Kraken ownership group. And we might not be talking about your boy Callie Yarncroke, but we talking about your boy Matty Beniers and Ryan Donato. We're going to recap that OT win coming up on this episode of Locked On Kraken.
You are Locked On Kraken, your daily podcast on the Seattle Kraken, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
We are the Seattle Kraken.
Happy Monday, Seattle hockey fans. Welcome to another episode of Locked On Kraken. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, more odds, and more lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Now, where to start this episode? We've got so many exciting things that are coming down the pike. We just had the Black Mobile Museum in Seattle. If you missed that, check out American Legacy Network, and you might want to check out Friday's episode because the amazing Everett Fitzhugh, who was my guest for the 100th episode of Locked On Kraken, he and I talked about that during that episode. So I gave you a previously non-released part of that conversation. We had an amazing win over the New Jersey Devils. Matty Beniers, he got his first goal in Climate Pledge Arena. First home game. We're going to hear him talk about the energy that he felt. And then, of course, it is a game day. Seattle Kraken have a game against the Ottawa Senators tonight. But I thought, just because we need some wholesome content, we're going to start with Zamboni content. Now, some people, if you know me from the women's hockey space, oh my gosh, there was this Zamboni cam, they even created Zam Cam merch that they were doing at the intermission. And I just thought that was such a blown opportunity to talk about the players. But in this case, number one, it's a much shorter ZamCam content piece. And number two, I love seeing Black men in the hockey space kind of bucking the narrative and the trend that we quote unquote traditionally see. So we're going to start this episode actually with the announcement that Marshawn Lynch and Macklemore were added as owners. And so let me share with you the press release, and then we'll get to the video. So this came in from the Seattle Kraken earlier today. Former Seahawk and Seattle-based artists are joining the group led by founder and majority owner Dave Bonderman and chairperson of the executive committee, Samantha Holloway. Quote, "We are fortunate to have an incredibly strong investor group which has guided the franchise over the last 4 years," Holloway said. "We are now adding 2 hometown heroes who share values and desires to give back to this great city and continue to make hockey a sport for everyone." This is what Macklemore had to say. "I have so much love for our city. The Seattle teams that we root for bring our community together and unify the people. In many ways, our franchises defined my childhood to the present. We rep our teams like no other," said Macklemore. "To witness the energy around the Kraken in our inaugural season blew me away. Selling out the entire first year in a brand new arena already set the tone of the legacy that is being created. I'm just grateful to be a part of history, grateful to usher in a new generation of sports fans and memories that will be made. As a kid sneaking into the nosebleeds who made it to the owner suite, and we're just getting started." Here's what Marshawn Lynch had to say. "Oh God, I've been a part of a lot of things, but this is something I never would have imagined as a young hyena. I always dreamed of playing on a professional team, but owning one is something special. As I look back on some of my accomplishments, I retired before I was 30, and now being an owner of a professional club at the age of 35, I'm going to continue to count my blessings. Being a part of the Seattle Kraken is something big for me. It gives me another chance to get a ring after helping bring the first NFL one to the city. And if you thought I was going anywhere, nah, Seattle, I'm here. Stand up. I love that. And Marshawn Lynch will participate in the Hockey is for Everyone campaign and will focus on events that have to do with young people and community activism, while Macklemore will work with the team and arena to produce music events that serve the community and engage with fans. That's pretty awesome. I think so. So you saw some of the B-roll, but now let me take you to this Zamcam footage that I truly can get behind. Here is new owner of the Seattle Kraken, Marshawn Lynch, taking the Zamboni out for a ride at Kraken Community Iceplex.
What do you say? You ready to do a donut? You want to try a full-fledged donut? Hell yeah. And then punch it. Now punch it. You got it? Got it. Punch it. You got it? You got it? I got it. All right, Trace, man. There you go. Now we're talking. I'll be that. Right? All right, straighten her out. Slow it down. Right. I got you, boss. I'm gonna go back over here a little bit, man. Just a little. They should have known not to put me behind nothing with a steering wheel.
Coming up next on Locked On Kraken, let's get into the game that we had over the weekend, where the Seattle Kraken get the overtime shootout win over the New Jersey Devils. Okay, I mentioned before that Athletic Greens is one of the new sponsors here, and I can tell you, I can report back that I have been taking Athletic Greens since they became a sponsor. I'm super into it's something where I can pour in the container that they provide. I just pour in the water, I give the scoop, and then I get all of my nutrients right there in the beginning of the day. 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, all there in the very first thing that I take in the morning. And it's this special blend of ingredients that support gut health, and gut health is so important. It's definitely a journey that I've been on. So some of the reasons that I like doing that is because it's super simple and easy. Again, it's 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. It's super easy. It becomes a part of my morning routine. And here's the thing that you also should know. It costs less than $3 a day. And if you're investing in your health, that's a pretty good price tag. Now, Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, and it's a climate neutral certified company. You know, we care about that as fans who have the team that plays in Climate Pledge Arena. So not only that, but for every purchase, the organization will donate to other organizations that are helping to get nutritious food to children, including No Kid Hungry in the United States. So the call to action right now is for you to step up and become part of the tribe. Get your morning routine on with Athletic Greens. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Once again, thank you for joining us over on Locked On Kraken. If you like that, then make sure you check out Locked On Now. So when news like Marshawn Lynch and Macklemore drops, or Matty Beniers getting his first point and then ultimately his first goal, we got you covered. And that, of course, is Sunday through Thursday on Locked On Now, available on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Okay, so as promised, we're going to talk about the Seattle Kraken and this fantastic win that they had over the Devils. Now, the Seattle Kraken have been a team that has struggled. They have been a team that, can give up a lead, and we did see that again against the Devils. But what we don't always see is the bounce back. And that's what I really liked about this game. There was an absolute bounce back. The team was able to, they took some licks. They took some licks. The Devils scored first, but it was the Seattle Kraken that scored last, and we'll take it. But all right, let's go to NHL.com and give you a rundown. We talked about it last week, what these two teams did last time they played. You see that the Devils scored first. It was Jesper Bratt, his 25th of the season. Then it's Will Borgen that gets the Seattle Kraken on the board. Then we have Jesper Boquist that scores. Carson Soucy, and Matty Beniers scoring the second frame. They don't even have a picture up yet for Matty Beniers. The disrespect. But he got his first goal. You're going to hear him talk about it in a little bit. And then it's Severson, though, that would get things going. And that's ultimately why we went to overtime. Matty Beniers had a really fun little, puck juggle and dangle that he was doing that a lot of people asked him about. You'll probably hear that in a minute. But then it was Ryan Donato, first player to shoot, only player to score in the overtime shootout. Two of my boys, Matty Beniers and Ryan Donato, score. I'm just as happy as a clam. It was against the New Jersey Devils. The Devils and I have a little bit of history, as I was able to call my first NHL game, and the Devils had a come-from-behind win, but I like this one better, not going to lie. Come-from-behind win, give up the early goal. We're down 2-1 after the first period, but then get it done in the second period, and of course, in the shootout. Here's what Matty Beniers and Dave Hakstol had to say after the win.
Hey, Matty, congratulations. Wanted to hear what your first impressions were of playing in Climate Pledge Arena. Have you ever gotten an ovation like that in your career? And finally, how do you think you did on your first career fish toss?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Nothing, no standing O like that. It was pretty amazing. I couldn't help but smile when I got called. When I was skating around for. When they were calling names of who's starting, and they called my name, and they went nuts. And then after the goal, it was electric. So both of those times I just couldn't stop smiling. So it was pretty great. On terms of the toss, I thought I did a pretty good job. I was aiming for a little kid. I think I overthrew it a little bit, but I didn't really see if he got it. I hope he did. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good start, like you said, pretty good. There's always better. So I think it's been pretty good, like you said, but there's a lot more work to do, and you want to build a team that's going to be really good, especially next year. I know we're out of playoffs, but it's good to get to some momentum as the years getting over, and especially going into next year, because your goal is not to do too good, it's to do really well and make sure your team especially is winning games, and if you can help your team do that, you're doing well. So it's just been 2 games, like you said, exactly, and we got a lot more work to do.
Yeah, I'm most impressed with the solid areas of his game. He supports the puck in all 3 zones very well. Most importantly, as a centerman, he does a very good job in the defensive zone, being in the right spots, being responsible with the puck and being able to receive, not only being in spots, but receive a puck and then make the next play. So those are the things that I'm most impressed with in his game. The creativity is there, and as his confidence grows, we'll continue to see more and more of that offensive creativity. It was night number 2. I talked about it before. It's a challenging area to step into the National Hockey League. So he was a little more comfortable tonight in the face-off dot. So we used him a little bit more in some of those situations. But again, what I talked about just in terms of his ability to be in the right spot, support the play, find the next play. Those are, his hockey sense, shows through pretty strongly in those situations. As I said, it's night number 2. He worked hard. He did a good job for our team. And we're going to continue to see him, his game grow, game in and game out.
All right. Well, that is what our last win looked like. We talked about our new owners, but now it's time to get ready for game day as the Seattle Kraken will host the Ottawa Senators. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what to expect in tonight's game. And as I mentioned, stay tuned because we'll have a recap locked on now happening later. I'm going to get in a little nap after this goes live, and then I'll be watching the game with all you folks. But right now, let me tell you about our title sponsor. That again is betonline.net, which is your number one source for all your betting stats and sports info. Find all the latest sports development, league reviews, and news, including this year's basketball playoffs. Ooh, off to a spicy start in basketball. And then, of course, there's Major League Baseball as well. Go Mariners, go Mets. Let's do it. I know you have fond memories of the Metropolitan Seattle, so I feel like we're still family. Anyway, BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, whether that's live betting, the playoffs that we just talked about for basketball, esports, and of course more being hockey. Head to the website today and you can use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. And it's also time to tell you about Built Bar. I'm going to get a little snack in. I'm going to get a little nap in. Then I'm going to get my snack on to watch the game tonight as the Seattle Kraken look to continue the streak and beat the Ottawa Senators at Climate Pledge Arena. So when I snack, I like to snack with Built Bar. Just like I told you about Athletic Greens and the good nutrients, another thing that I'm trying to focus on is I realize that I'm a person that needs a certain amount of calories, but I need the right nutrition. I've always been a snacker. You probably have figured that out about me if you listen to Locked On Kraken. But when I snack with Built Bar, I'm getting something that is high protein, low calorie, high in fiber, and low in carbs. 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein in your average Built Bar. Not to mention they're covered in chocolate, which I absolutely love, and totally better than those candy bars that I used to snack on that come in at about 240 calories and 30 grams of sugar. Holy cannoli. So as I'm changing my morning routine with Athletic Greens, and as I'm changing my snacking habits and my calorie intake with Built Bar, all these are things that I was introduced to by this very Locked On Kraken show and, of course, the greater Locked On Podcast Network. So because you are a loyal listener and we want you to get your mint brownie on, your coconut almond on, your puffs with the protein-infused puffs, we want you to get all of that. We're going to give you an offer for 15% off your next order of Built Bars. First thing you do, head to built.com. Then you use promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15, and that will unlock 15% off your next order of Built Bars. Once again, head over to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15, and you will receive 15% off your next order of Built Bars. Happy snacking. All right. Hey, what do you say, Seattle hockey fans? Can we get a win? I think so, but what is it going to take to get the win over the Ottawa Senators? Well, let's take it over to NHL.com and figure it all out. This is what we've got coming up. Again, that's tonight. The puck drops at 10 Eastern time. That's 7 p.m., of course, local time. So here's what we need to know going into this game. Now, the Ottawa Senators did get the win the last time the two teams played. That was on March 10th. It was a 4-3 final in favor of Ottawa. But let's not relive the past, right? Let's talk about what we're looking at right now. So now both teams are coming in with a win. You've got the power play, which of course is always an Achilles heel of the Seattle Kraken. They're at 29, 14.3% clip, 19.7% clip for the Ottawa Senators. The penalty kill also favors Ottawa. They're above 80% at 80.5%, 13th overall in the league, where we're at a 75.1% clip force. That's 27th overall. Now, I always like to talk about goals for, goals against, because this is something that we have to just figure out how far we have to be shooting, or at what rate we have to be shooting to even keep up with teams, because the Seattle Kraken usually are shooting at a lower clip than their opponent. Goals for. Now, here is where these two teams can get themselves into trouble. Here's where both teams can get themselves into trouble. Now, neither team is averaging more than 3 goals for. 2.57 clip for the Seattle Kraken. That's 29th in a 32-team league. And 2.71 for the Ottawa Senators. Similarly, goals against. Now, this is where both teams can get themselves into trouble also. And we're about even here. Giving up over 3 goals. So not quite achieving 3 goals a game, but averaging over 3 goals against. You can do the math there. I didn't mention the records, but we have a 28-40-7 record for the Ottawa Senators coming into tonight's game, a 24-44-6 record for the Seattle Kraken. I've mentioned it before, worth saying again, case in point with the game against New Jersey. The Seattle Kraken have to be able to get wins against teams that are in their catchment area, teams that are eliminated from the playoffs, teams with a similar record to them. If they can't get these wins now, this is when you got to get those wins. You got to show the guys that we know are going to be around next season. This is what it takes, and this is what Seattle Kraken hockey is all about. I think it was a decent win in New Jersey. We heard from Dave Hakstol, mostly about Matty Beniers, because everyone wanted to know about Matty. Makes a lot of sense. But we've heard from Dave Hakstol throughout the entire season. It's not about moral victories, small victories. That being said, doing the right things now. Doubling up on focusing on, in my case, and I say it every podcast, probably every episode, really got to hunker down, on team defense. Little mistakes, exits, entries, not taking care of the puck, making silly mistakes. This is all that teenage version, as I do my air quotes for those listening audio. That's that teenage version of the Seattle Kraken that we need to get rid of. All right, it's time to grow up, Seattle, and this is when it's done. Yes, you're eliminated, but as Jordan Eberle said, months ago now, it doesn't matter what the record is. You still have a job to do. They got to show up, and you got to show up against teams, like I said, that are similarly positioned as you. And that's what Ottawa is. You're at home. You've got the buzz of the Matty Beniers amazing goal. You heard just, how exciting the crowd was. I saw a lot of people on social talking about how electric everything is. People are excited for Matty Beniers. So as excited as we were to be the new franchise, new kids on the block, now we've got Matty Beniers. I would argue now we've got Marshawn Lynch and Macklemore coming on board as well. And so there's another buzz, there's another excitement. Let's give that energy back to the players, infuse that into their game, and get going for next season now. I really do believe that we can lay some building blocks. Obviously, the team looks different than what we saw coming in. A lot of people still giving demerits to Ron Francis on the expansion draft. I really try not to speak about that too much, but I will have a lot of opinions. As we go into free agency, at the offseason, and of course, the next NHL draft. That's what we've got. As I like to always say at the end of the show, hold fast, stay true, let's go Kraken. Happy Monday. Happy Marshawn Lynch and Macklemore ownership announcement day. Happy Matty Beniers is one of our guys. Happy Ryan Donato loves us more than the others. I mean, I could go on and on. I'm having a happy Monday. I'm feeling good. I was watching Grey's Anatomy reruns. This is a true story. Over the weekend. So I'm feeling the Seattle love. The Black Hockey History Truck was just there. It's going to be a good time. And also this week, we're going to kick off Firebird Fridays, where we talk about the AHL affiliate, the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Now, Coachella Valley right now is buzzing with music. Speaking of Macklemore and whatnot, it's buzzing with music for the Coachella Festival, but soon it will be the Firebirds that are the talk and toast of the town. So we're going to get you ready as the AHL team is no longer in Charlotte, although they're doing a great job. We'll talk a little bit more about them also on Friday. But then we're getting ready for the changing of the guard for the Oakview group to have its very own AHL team on the West Coast. And we're going to hear from Zoe Hickel, who is helping grow the game. So all that is coming. I'm going to say it again because it's usually how I close out the show. On this game day, we're going to be rooting for the Seattle Kraken as they take on the Ottawa Senators. Puck drop 7 p.m. PT local time. It's time to hold fast, stay true, and scream as loud as we can. Let's go Kraken! Don't forget to stay tuned for Locked On Now for my thoughts after the game. If I don't see you on social media, I'll see you tomorrow.